Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to look at a movie. The movie today is Ready Player One. This is a 2018 film that I am absolutely obsessed with. Just letting you know, I just came off of a fairly, I wouldn't say huge cold, but yeah, it was about a week long, and today kind of culminates the time that I'm feeling much better. I had a cough, my voice went away, it was pretty bad. But I'm recovering and I'm really happy, so if you hear my voice is a little different, that's why. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead. I do movie reviews and I look at my journey through aviation, gaming. I look at TV shows, sitcoms, a lot of cool stuff. So if you're interested in this, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Let me just tell you, I bought it just because I love it so much, and I paid so much money just to get it in 3D. I have the capability for 3D, and let me tell you, it is so amazing in 3D. So amazing in 3D. Let me start this by saying that this is a book. This is a book by Ernest Cline that came out, same name. A lot of people say that they like the book, and of course, you know how it is. The book is very different from the movie. In essence, there's things in the book that aren't in the movie, and they obviously can't jam-pack everything. It starts out in the future, the year 2045 in Ohio. That is the largest growing population in the United States at the time of the movie.
And I ended up here.
And everyone kind of lives in these shabby little motorhomes stacked on top of each other. Reality, as in real life, is not what these people are interested in. They're actually interested in this alternate virtual reality, which is called the Oasis. And they wear this virtual reality headset.
Oasis.
And, you know, they're attached to all these things where they could do things in this virtual reality. Would you like to go to the moon and you dressed as Batman and having Batman powers and grappling hook and the Batman car on the moon and fighting, I don't know, little green demons? Well, you can go ahead and do that in the Oasis. Do you want to get married to the Bride of Frankenstein? You can go do that.
People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do.
Basically, anything you can imagine, you just say in this virtual reality world, and it comes to pass. And if you want certain weapons and coins and things like that, you can escalate and move up the ladder. And that's the primary idea of this movie. If you happen to die in this virtual reality, you can start over, but you lose all your progress. Now, there's a lot of references to games, movies, and 1980s culture. That is very important. If you grew up in the 80s, if you were maybe or born in the 70s and grew up through the 80s, I was born in the 80s, or if you really just like the 80s, this movie is for you, because pretty much every reference in the 80s is in this movie in some way. There's just so much happening at some points, because you see the whole Oasis, the whole virtual reality world, and it's there, and you just pick out certain things. You're like, oh, that character's from this movie, Teen Wolf, or you see Terminator, or you see Michael Jackson, Thriller, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. Now, segueing into that, this movie, I would say, can best be defined as a mixture of Back to the Future with Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, if you're a big fan of Back to the Future, then you need to watch this movie. Why? Because Steven Spielberg is the director. So what does that mean? That means that everything that could have been or that was in Back to the Future was basically allowed here. The same music composer, Alan Silvestri from Back to the Future, is the one who does the score here. Now, what's great is that you hear Back to the Future tunes. You hear them throughout the movie, and then it's blended with Ready Player One soundtrack. It's just so great, and I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, more the story, that's the basis of the story of this. Little boy down on his luck, or young man, and he is the typical David and Goliath type plot. It is just a joy to watch and a joy to enjoy for the eyes and for the ears. A lot of great actors in it. Of course, you have Simon Pegg, Tye Sheridan, you have Olivia Cooke. They all do fairly well. Of course, the young talent, they're not Oscar award-winning performances, but that's not what you really look in a movie like this. This is like a fun adventure movie. Again, you see the DeLorean, you see the kit car, you see references to King Kong, dinosaurs, F1 cars, Mortal Kombat. Like, I can keep going, but that gives you the idea. It's just Pretty much anything you can think of, they squeezed it into this movie somehow. In 3D, and let me tell you, in 3D, it's amazing because you can pick out so many more details that you didn't see before. Now, a lot of this movie is real life, meaning like actual live action actors on the screen being filmed, traditional cameras. But then they blend into CGI, and then they go into the virtual reality world. You see the actor, just like me, puts on his virtual reality headset, the camera pans around in one continuous shot, and then you go into the virtual reality world and everything changes. So it's CGI. So it's kind of like that feel of like a little more realistic than like the Toy Story look. But at the same time, it's great because it goes back to the Oasis, the virtual reality world, and the real life flesh and skin world, and it goes back and forth, and the story weaves in and out. The story is not perfect by any means, but I think that was not the goal of this movie. It's not to have a perfect, but it's a fairly good plot. It makes sense. You understand it. I would say this movie's not for everyone. If you're not into the whole virtual reality, science fiction, futuristic type genre, then this isn't for you, because that's all this is. But I would say a lot of people who like that new things, a really good action-packed movie with little surprises here and there, especially in the end, and then just throughout the movie, it's just salt and pepper. It's just really well done. You know how they say movies today and age aren't as great as the ones before? Well, this movie's going to be a classic. This movie, 20 years down the line, people are going to look back and enjoy it. I'm sure that my kids in the future, I don't have any right now, but when, you know, in the future, they're going to be 20 years old, 10, 15 years old, and watch this movie. They are, and they're going to enjoy it because it's going to be, wow, this movie's, you know, it was made long ago, and now this is 2018, so it's just funny to think about. Listen, everyone who are big fans of The Shining, if you are the fan of this movie, then you need to watch Ready Player One. Why? Because the characters get transported, or they go into the actual Shining, the movie. And you see scenes from the movie and them interact with the characters, and it's just really well done. I don't want to really spoil it, but any big Shining fans are going to see all the references and understand. It's a good portion of the movie. It's a good 10-15 minutes in the movie, in the Shining movie, these characters are. And it's just well done, and it's kind of seamless. You kind of go throughout the whole movie in 10-15 minutes. It's just great. It's like, oh, I know this scene. Oh, I know this scene. And so do yourself a favor and watch The Shining before this if you haven't. I heard already done it. But if not, it's really worth it. The whole time you have an adventure, you kind of can't wait to see what's going to happen, because the climax builds, the story builds to the point of the anti-hero, and the anti-hero is great. He's fantastic. He is sickening. He is someone that you don't want to have to dinner. This guy doesn't terrify you with just what he's capable of. Really like the ending. It's got a great message, I think, and you know, that's what, in my opinion, separates great movies from good movies. And I would say this is a great movie because overall there's a message in the end. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we've heard all the messages. Well, I think this message is good. It has to do with technology and just being responsible and moral with technology. And at the end, we get that. Some people weren't that happy, but I think it was well done because it makes sense throughout the whole film. And in real life, we're moving toward that. We're becoming more like our technology. We want more of it. And we are kind of taking in all this information. It's kind of what the movie touches upon in a very real way. And to be honest, you believe that 2045, the year, will be like this movie says, because it's like, well, it seems like we're moving in that direction. We're not that far apart from what this movie's saying and what the characters do. Like, it's amazing, but you don't see like, wow, this is never gonna, no, like, touchscreen and then virtual reality we already have, and then the fact of connecting with the Wi-Fi into this world, like, this is all possible. This is very, very, very possible. Now, whether it's going to happen in 2045 or not, I don't know, but it is very possible. So thank you so much, guys and gals. I won't spoil the ending. I will give this film an A+. Why do I give it an A+? Because it became one of my favorite films ever that I've watched. I bought the film. Again, many of you, who knows if it'll become one of your favorite films, but let me tell you, it is a nice ride. It's directed by Steven Spielberg. He put a lot of work into this. This is one of those movies where it's like, all these details, it's rewatchable, because then I saw things this second time that I've been watching it that I didn't see the first time when I saw it. And I'm sure I'm going to keep finding things, and that's the fun of movies like this. I love rewatchability, and this is a great rewatchable film. We'll see you, as I said, next time, guys and gals. Don't forget to stay positive, and most importantly, be hopeful.